Okie dokie. Well, after struggling with this problem for quite a while, I went to see if I could. I posted it to a bunch of my friends, and then we discovered that the book is stupid and it should have read square root of 3i, which makes it so much easier. But I want to explain to you briefly why this problem, as is so awful. So the idea behind this is, first they're like, okay, we're going to be raising it to some power. That almost automatically means you want to put it into Euler form. So we draw ourselves a lovely little picture. We go over 3. We go up 1i, right? Because this is I, and these are the reals. And then by Pythagoras, you get that the length here is square root of 10. And then the angle is really nasty. The angle right here, even though I understand 1 and 3 don't seem like bad numbers, the angle here, to get this, we'd need the tangent, oops, wrong thing, tangent of theta is equal to 1 over 3. So then theta is going to be the arctangent of 1/3, which is a pretty disgusting number. It's about 322, okay? But it doesn't translate. You can fiddle with this as much as you want. You can divide it from pi and you don't get a nice thing. And so you're stuck with your Euler form being 10 e to the arctan, by the by, inverse tangent and arctan, they mean the exact same thing, so it's okay. The arctan of 1/3 I. And you're supposed to raise this to some power n until this becomes 0. So really what you're looking for is when the inverse tangent of 1/3 times some number n becomes 0. And it just doesn't happen because this isn't, and what's really happening is we're now like spinning this guy around, and it's probably because square root of 10 is more than 1. It's getting longer and longer, but every time you multiply by some power, this is spinning some degree, and there's just no nice way to do this. If you check on the internet for this problem, there were a bunch of people that apparently tried it last year before it was discovered that the textbook made a misprint. And there's somebody who's made a valiant effort to get it correct, but they had to do a lot of rounding and kind of hand-waving to make it happen. So it turns out if you actually do the actual problem, which is having a square root, it works out real nice. So in this case, when you draw your picture, you get square root of 3 here, 1 here, a radius of 2, and then this angle becomes tangent of 1 over root 3, which means that theta is pi over 6. And now in your Euler form, z is equal to 2 e to the pi over 6 I. And now if you're going to raise this to a power of n, it works out quite nicely because all you're looking for is you want a power of n such that when you multiply n by pi over 6, you get a sign of 0 or the sign of pi. And the reason you want that is that the sign of 0 is equal to 0 and the sign of pi is equal to 0. So really what you're looking for is pi over 6. Oh, and I should probably explain the sign bit, sorry. That would be helpful, right? Because if you then converted this back into like polar form, you'd have 2 cosine of theta plus I sine of theta. And what you really want to have, this 2 is going to get huge, right? It's just going to become a bigger and bigger number as you're raising it to bigger and bigger powers. But what you want to do is you want to be affecting the theta and the sine and the cosine. And if we want to get the imaginary part of this to be equal to 0, then I need sine of theta to be equal to 0. So really all you're trying to solve at this point is pi over 6 times some number is equal to 0. And by 0, it could be, just kidding, it shouldn't be 0. It should be pi or 2 pi. Sorry, this part right here is going to be pi or 2 pi. So really if n is any factor of 6. So if n is 6, then you get pi. If n is 12, you get that. So the actual solutions here should be n is equal to 6, 12, 18, etc. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have finished the problem before, but I thought it was going to be like this, and I didn't see the typo. My sincere apologies.